The Democratic primary in South Carolina, 64% of the electorate is African American. You know, African Americans make up the heart and soul of the Democratic Party here. And our campaign has a lot of African American leadership, and we know that there is a history of injustice in this country, and that's why we're supporting policies like an $125 billion federal investment in the historically black colleges and universities, which have been a force for good and for educating African American leaders for generations.
Tom Steyer's recent surge in the polls in South Carolina and Nevada is adding an even greater level of excitement to a campaign already infused with infectious optimism, and the campaign is building on that excitement. This week, Tom Steyer's son, Sam Steyer, and his wife, Kat Taylor, campaigned through South Carolina and introduced themselves to voters. We caught up with Sam while he was in Columbia for the grand opening of Steyers South Carolina headquarters. I took the opportunity to talk about his role with the campaign and to get his thoughts on what he thinks is contributing to his dad's growing poll numbers in these early primary states. Sam, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Michael. How are you?
Great. Thanks for asking. Let's start off. Tell me a little bit about your role with the campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Tom Steyer and Kat Taylor's oldest son. I work on the campaign full time, and what I do for the most part is travel around and tell my dad's story, and also door knock and phone call and listen to people and hear what people are saying they care about on the ground, and take that information back to our campaign team in San Francisco and to my parents.
Okay. How many states have you visited thus far? How many states have you been campaigning in?
Gosh, probably 7 or 8. So I've been in South Carolina. This is my second trip. 4 times in Iowa, a couple times to New Hampshire, twice to Nevada, and then Louisiana, Alabama, Colorado, Virginia.
Okay. Was this your first time coming to the South Carolina?
No. So I've been to South Carolina twice in my life before the campaign.
Okay.
But we actually, I've now taken 2 trips for the campaign, and we've gotten to meet the most incredible people, learn a lot. I'm so happy to be here in Columbia.
Okay. Sam, if you would, tell me a little bit about the values that your father instilled in you when you were growing up.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of my dad's core values is that who you are is based on what you do and the morals you represent, your community and the people closest to you and your family, and not how much wealth you have or what status or accomplishments you have. He always reminded me to focus on what matters. And then another value he believes in deeply is to tell the truth. My dad draws a Jerusalem cross on his left hand every day. He's an Episcopalian. His faith is important to him, and he draws that cross to remind himself to tell the truth no matter what. And then the last value, which I'll share, which I think also drives from his faith, is the idea that we're all connected, that there is a positive force in the world that ties us together, and your brother's problem or someone else, your countryman's problem, is your problem, and we're all in this together.
Okay. How have you seen those values manifest on the campaign in this message?
Absolutely. So the core of my dad's message is that there's a problem right now, and that is that corporations have too much influence on the government, special interests have too much influence on the government, and that means that the federal government on really important issues is doing what's right for companies, not what's right for people. And those are our fellow Americans. We are in it together, and in the 21st century we should consider it a right that everyone have what we call the 5 rights: affordable health care, high quality public education for pre-K through college or whatever comes after, clean air and water. There are people today who are drinking water or breathing air that makes them sick. The unmitigated right to vote. It is not right that in some states we're suppressing the vote of our fellow citizens, and a living wage. One person can support a family on one job. And the reason that my dad believes in those things is because we're all in this together. We care. He cares what is happening to other people in this country. And the reason that he's willing to stand up to Donald Trump, stand up to powerful corporate interests, is that we have to tell the truth to get to a government that's just. We have to be willing to tell the truth about the things that are happening that aren't right.
Okay. Recently, your father's been surging in the polls, especially in early states of South Carolina and Nevada, which have high population of minority voters. What do you contribute that surge to?
Yeah, so I got into South Carolina on this trip on Thursday, and I was so happy to be here to celebrate with the team when we found out about the poll. The first thing that is a huge factor is we have 82 people in South Carolina who are doing an incredible job. They're working very hard. Many of them are already leaders in politics and social justice. Brandon Upson, who's leading our effort here, has done an incredible job. He's led over 30 campaigns. He's a true son of South Carolina and a real leader. We have a lot of leaders like that in the campaign, and we have all 82 people here are working hard, talking to people and building community. I think we also have a message that resonates in South Carolina. My dad likes to say that policy flows from narrative, and so understanding the truth about what's happened in history is really important if you want to get policy right. And the Democratic primary in South Carolina, 64% of the electorate is African American. African Americans make up the heart and soul of the Democratic Party here, and our campaign has a lot of African American leadership, and we know that there is a history of injustice in this country, and that's why we're supporting policies like an $125 billion federal investment in the historically black colleges and universities, which have been a force for good and for educating African American leaders for generations. That's why we're recognizing the systemic injustice in our criminal justice system, and we believe in ending cash bail, legalizing marijuana, and expunging nonviolent marijuana violations, and doing everything we can to end the school-to-prison pipeline. And also, it's why my parents have always believed that in expanding economic opportunity, that there are many Americans who can be and want to be great entrepreneurs, and right now they're locked out of the conventional capital system. And that's why my parents founded Beneficial State Bank in Oakland, founded in Oakland to provide personal banking and small business banking to the Oakland community, who has proved to be a great place for small business, but was locked out of the conventional banking system in some ways. And I'm proud to say Beneficial State Bank has 15 branches now across the West Coast, and that my parents are very serious about the idea that everyone should have opportunity and the ability and access to capital to start a business. So I think all of those messages, resonate with the voters in South Carolina who are very informed and who are very in tune with African American issues. And also, we just have an incredible team here. All the thanks in the world to the 82 people working hard here every day.
Okay. Sam, thank you for taking time to sit down with me.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. And thank you for everybody at the Minority Eye. I appreciate the time to listen to what I had to say.